Juuni Taisen was one of those shows that came out, was disliked by many, and then subsequently forgotten about entirely. I believe this was a great mistake, and there comes a reason for this. As much of its quality was missed by a larger audience who expected an adherence to a specific battle royale structure. Juuni Taisen does something more interesting than regurgitate a common narrative, but sets the concept back up on its base. Far from the recreators and Fate, which have polluted the sphere, it serves as a show that jumps back in the big battle royale for a wish concept, and while it's not only self-defeating, but ultimately useless for its participants in a quite satiric fashion that was lost on its viewers. To start with, many of the complaints towards the series manifest into 3 different reasons. 1. A predictable structure. 2. An underwhelming ending. And 3. It's not Fate. The first detail is the most common, as it's the most overt aspect of the show, and something that is likewise being defended. In the early to middle episodes, it repeats a pattern of introducing a character's backstory, their position within the Royale, and then subsequently killing them off. This was defended by putting it into the character study category, which isn't necessarily wrong, but I think without taking the Battle Royale structure into account, it misses some of the breadth. The characters do indeed follow the Zodiac race of common knowledge, a tale even more integrated into the canon of East Asia, to the point where it becomes clear that it is not out of a lack of creativity that it does so, but for a purpose. Already within a Battle Royale narrative, you know how it will end and that the winner will be whoever is the most thematically important character, usually the protagonist. Battle Royales predicate themselves in this mystery of who will win and the fights that come as a result of its setup. In order to back these up, you obviously have to supply a why should I care for the characters and inevitably their ideals. However, Juuni Taisen recognizes that with this predictability of the Battle Royale structure, there comes no reason for the game itself. It purely exists for entertainment, and this is reflected within the world itself. In Juuni Taisen, it operates on the whim of wealthy elites looking to wage bets and high-stakes gambling. In Fate Zero, as revealed by the visual novel, the Grail War is a scheme set up by mage families to lure in 7 participants and fill up the Grail of mana to open up the source of existence. The Grail itself is not able to deliver wishes, it just increases mana pool to use spells that they normally wouldn't have been able to. In the original 2000 Battle Royale film, there outright is no wish, only survival, as the game is set up by a gerontocracy that specifically targets teenagers, making itself a commentary on elder-youth relations in Japan. Even conceptually, it doesn't add up. A Battle Royale is not a fight of ideals, because much like war, such things die at the battlefield, and it becomes a simple killer-be-killed situation. As Rat says, at the end he didn't win out based on doing the right thing or following a lofty ideal, but by following the only path that allowed him to survive, literally. It is within Juuni Taisen's structure that this is accentuated. Take for example Tiger, who we get the backstory fair from before her most timely demise. Unlike the ones from the first 3 episodes, she doesn't die in the same episode she is revealed in, yet is put above Monkey as the most fleshed out arc we get from the series, and in it we get the most succinct summation of the themes and general point of the show. Tiger is the character with a moral dilemma outside of the conditions of the Battle Royale. Her plight is a simple one of losing her way, no longer being able to tell what the right thing is or how to accomplish it. Her ultimate wish becomes something that does not require supernatural occurrence to be consummated, and is even realized within the Battle Royale itself. Rat remarks that once one has achieved their ultimate wish, that there is no point in continuing to live, alongside how there are certain participants of the Juuni Taisen that would not want to return from death. Indeed, Horse declares that he fears losing more than dying, and Tiger fulfills her wish by her own death. Whenever Rat asks a competitor of their wish, it is either a sudden and unsure reply or something that they have been striving to ascertain their whole lives. Here within these characters and their motivations, we grasp the absurdity not only of an ultimate wish, but the practice of a Battle Royale to obtain it. Human ambition comes from the determination of one to advance themselves forward through their own initiative. By our very nature, any human wish is possible, and whatever falls outside of what can be achieved by humans individually is unobtainable for a reason. These are all some of the most powerful warriors. Any initiative, should they decide upon them, come even easier to them. One would have to be deranged to take part in a Battle Royale principally for an ultimate wish. During Rat's fervent monologue, he goes for an entire 100 wishes. He comes to find that every wish comes with a contrasting caveat rendering it void, or doesn't fit his own will. Even wishes such as world peace are antithetical, as Rat, along with the rest of the crew, are warriors, and wishing simply for good is rather predicated on what the wisher deems is good. Within the contestants of the Juuni Taisen, we'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who is partaking in the Battle Royale for the supposed prize. Horse would have no reason to wish for talent. By winning the Juuni Taisen, he would prove that he has it all along. Tiger actualizes her wish within the Royale itself. Boar cares little for her wish, she is simply there to prove herself as an heir to a family. Sheep entered in order to protect his family. Rabbit is just there to have fun and win, going as far as to get himself killed to attain victory. To Dragon and Snake, the Royale is just another job for them to have fun by. Similarly, Chicken is fulfilling a job though more for duty that she actually wishes to shirk from than her own individual will. Monkey did not act towards getting the wish for world peace, but wanted to bypass the Royale entirely, and should she get it, wish for everyone to be revived and make it null anyway. Ox goes through with it with Taoist shrewdness, initially wanting to bypass the Royale much like Monkey, but he accepts his position to survive once this falls through. Then finally, Rat has no ambitions at all, simply acting to survive as all others. We learn all of this through their given backstories and character interactions of the episodes, making the backstories not really for the basis of making you care for the characters before they die, but for driving it all towards the conclusion. It is for this very reason that the ending is not at all underwhelming, but completely falls in line not only with the themes of the show, but the Battle Royale concept entirely. Should Rat have even had ambition, a wish would not serve him at all, so instead of dealing with the pressure, he wishes to forget the wish entirely. It is not subversion or deconstruction, as such words are completely misused all the time. This is simply taking the concept to its logical conclusion, its structure and ending playing into that perfectly. In this way, it operates as the perfect adversary to Fate's hero, of whom the fanbase regularly derides any Battle Royale show for not being like it, this one included. The greatest refutation of this absurdity found in Fate's Hero's tackling of the concept comes in Ox. In Fate's Hero, the primary moral dilemma is Kiritsugu and his utilitarianism. Its highest peak in philosophizing in this show is an incredibly elementary trolley problem which is unintentionally laughable, as are many other sincere plot points of the show. On the flip side, Ox Less and the Tiger acts as a strong diatribe to Fate's Hero's folly in comedic fashion. As previously stated, Tiger's moral dilemma stems from a lack of comprehension of what the right thing to do is, and how one can achieve it. Ox answers her with
1. まず、正しいことをしようとするだろう。2. 次に、正しいことをする。以上だ。
This is intentionally orchestrated as a punchline, with Tiger even responding, "What kind of overly genius philosophy is that?" The reason Ox believes Tiger to be a child on the battlefield at the time is because her moral dilemma is completely childish, and easily overcome by his maxim. Ox can't an ethics system which is deontological in that it asserts to do the right thing must be based upon acting with good intention, reverberates as the perfect opposition to Kiritsugu's utilitarianism, which asserts that it matters not what you do as long as it provides a conclusion that provides a sum of total happiness. It allocates with a completely separate tone. Ox is executed comically yet with frankness, while Kiritsugu's is out of genuinity that attempts to pass itself off as heady, despite it being incredibly heavy-handed. It is not that Ox's moral code is so simple that it is laughable, but that it is nonsensical that there should be any other answer than this unostentatious one. Monkey also demonstrates this as she rejects Rat's objection that because her actions to save people have saved bad people, that she is fighting a losing battle. She rejects the consequentialism by instead carrying it with her. It would therefore be against her moral code to wish for world peace by killing others, as this would fall under utilitarianism. Following this line of thought, she operates off her own individual goal of peace rather than relying on a magical device. Kiritsugu's morals do indeed lead him to a tragic end, but it isn't something that should take an entire story to break down, making Ox's Less and the Tiger all the more comedic in how effortless and direct it is in doing the same job. It is impossible to really sympathize with Kiritsugu. Many of his actions are nonsensical, and he looks to trade away his family and others for some greater good. Though Fate fans often seem to latch onto him as an edgy, broken badass that they can relate to. It's for this reason that Juuni Taisen attracted criticism from many, because it's not Fate. Fate Zero is often championed by its fans as this magnum opus for the battle royale genre that leads them to denigrate other shows that tackle the concept for not doing it like Fate Zero does. Its fans will always proclaim that Fate Zero, whether it be the visual novel or anime adaptation, was the truest exploration of the battle royale for an Ultimate Wish concept. Yet, Juuni Taisen does the same thing in such a way that comes to expose Fate Zero's weak points and almost ironically makes fun of its pseudo-intellectual narrative. I am not grouping in all of its fans as one. I am sure there are plenty that enjoy both Juuni Taisen and Fate Zero. However, I feel that it comes with the stipulation that Juuni Taisen, as it has been illustrated, contrasts highly against the writing of Fate Zero, even though they may tackle much of the same things. The difference comes in the temperament of the writer. I don't care to poke the beehive of the Urobuchi cult, but it must be said that although Urobuchi can hit a structure decently and provide a narrative conflict, even should much of his work just be him copying and pasting Greek tragedies, he has a horrid execution of it all with a complete lack of any subtlety. Nisio Isin has the self-awareness to deal with the cliches of whatever genre he's approaching, and the complementary ability to act upon the concepts in a way that is still authentic and not simply talking down to you or trashing the genre itself. When, for example, Katana Gatsuri addresses hero cults and historical mythologization, or Zarigoto, literally nonsense, touches upon the cliches of the murder mystery genre, it comes as no surprise he conducts a battle royale story the same. Juuni Taisen reflects Nisio's ability to operate upon arcs absurdly, yet treat the conflicts of which it pivots with earnestness. As such, the black comedy of this show loses itself upon a crowd more used to the plainness of Fate Zero and others. There is similar media that falls into this pit, and even comes to lambast anything that falls outside of it. Danganronpa's killing game structure is essentially a battle royale concept done differently, which falls into a repetition before V3 defenestrates it, much to the chagrin of many of its fans. There is a video on our channel dealing with this and how it uses expectations set forth from the previous games to pull this off, should you care to watch it. Furthermore, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to even check out our others, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.